Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all are doing great. So guys, in the chapter of material costing, what we have to do is now is the last topic, that is valuation of closing inventory. Right? So we have covered everything in this chapter. All the important topics we have covered. In the last topic that we have to study in this lecture is valuation of closing inventory. Valuation of closing inventory. Right? Now, what is closing inventory, sir? Say you have a raw material and the opening stock of raw material is say 5,000 units, right? Then you purchased some raw material, purchases say for 15,000. 15,000 units you bought. 15,000 units, right? And out of this you have consumed some units. Say you have consumed 12,000 units. Now what is the stock left for you? Is closing stock, right? 5 plus 15, 20,000. Out of 20,000, you have consumed 12,000. So your closing stock is 8,000 units. Now, this opening stock, the value of this opening stock per unit is say rupees 5. Right? And this purchases, that the fresh purchase you made, say it is at rupees 6. Now you have to find out that what is the value of this 8,000 and at what value this consumption, this issue, or I can say, has been done. Clear? So this is how we'll find the closing inventory, plus I'll add issue also. That whatever raw material that you are issuing to the production, at what rate you are issuing, right? And whatever is left, that is the closing inventory. What is the value of that closing inventory? See, for this there are three methods of valuation, I can say. There are three important methods of valuation. Otherwise you will find various methods. The important three methods are there. So the three methods of valuation are: first is FIFO method, right? You must have heard about it and you must have started it somewhere. First in, first out, right? Then we have the LIFO method, that is last in, last out, right? And the last one is weighted average method. So these are the three major important methods that we have to study. First in, first out says the raw material which is received first has to be issued first. That means in this case, for this issue of 12,000, first we will utilize this opening stock of 5,000, right? Because this material is received first, then the remaining 7,000 is to be issued from this purchases. This is first in, first out method. Clear? What is LIFO method? Last in, first out. Last in, first out method says the material received last, in the end, it should be issued first. Right? So that means if we have to issue this 12,000, whole of this 12,000 will be issued from this 15,000, not this 5,000. That is LIFO method. And what is weighted average? Weighted average says, sir, 5,000 multiplied by 5 plus 15,000 multiplied by 6. That means you have to take the weight of this 5,000 weighted average. Then average is 5,000 plus 15,000. That the material that is lying in the store, right, at what price it was purchased, so we'll take the average of that. Not simple average. Simple average method is also there, but it won't be asked, right? So what you have to do is weighted average. This is weighted average. Units multiplied by price will give you the weight of one item, right? Then units multiplied by price will give you another weight. So the average of those two weights, right? So this is your weighted average. So we'll do two questions on this, on the LIFO-FIFO method. First in first out, the material which is received first will be issued first, right? Last in first out says, last in first out, sorry, not last out. One second. This is last in first out. The material which is received in the last, right, that will be issued first. Okay. Now let's see the question that we have to do. Question number 17 that we have to study. This is from your ICAI module only. This is from ICAI module back questions. Okay. Now, AT Limited furnishes the following information. One second. Yes, AT Limited furnishes the following store transactions for September 2011. Opening balance is given 25 units valued at 162.50. Issue requisition number 85 is there. That means issue requisition means this is the requisition from the store, from the production department. Requisition from requirement, basically requirement from production. Then receipts from B and company, GRN number this is your purchases, right? Then issue requisition, then return to B and company, issue requisition, receipt from M and company, again your purchases. This is again your purchases. And this return to B and company is your purchase return. This is your purchase return, right? Received replacement from B and company department, interdepartmental transfer and shortage in stock taking, all those things, right? So what you have to do is you have to record these transactions one by one. Okay. He says write up the store's ledger on FIFO method basis, that is first in first out, and discuss how would you treat the shortage in stock taking. Okay. Clear? So what should be the format for this? Sir, format is very simple. What you have to do is here you will write particulars, right? Then you will record all the receipts. Receipts are to be further divided into three parts. One is what is the quantity received, what is the rate at which it is received, and what is the amount, right? Then you have to record all the issue. What are the issue? Again, issue is to be divided into three parts: quantity, rate, and amount, right? Then comes the balance. What is the balance left? After the net of receipts and issue will be your balance. Again, the balance will be into three parts: quantity, rate, and amount, right? So this should be the format of solving these questions. One format, right? It can be in some other format also. You can solve it in some other format also. There is no issues in that. Okay. So shall we start? Now this question is there. This is the question. This is the solution. I have taken it from the institute module also. Now what it says, the first is opening balance 25 units at the rate of 162.50, not at the rate. This is the value given. This is not the per unit rate. This is the value given to you, 162.50. So what you will record? See, date is there, then receipts, payments, issue, and balance, right? So on 1st of September, we'll write the opening balance of 25 units, right? We'll write the opening balance of 25 units. Value is 162.50. That means the per unit value is 6.50. Clear? This is the first transaction. Second, so we'll keep marking the transactions. First is done. Second, issue requisition number 85, 8 units. That means the production department goes to the store and says, store, please give me 8 units. I need 8 units for the production. Now the store is having 25 units. So the store can give 8 units out of this, right? So what the store has done is store has issued 8 units. Store has issued 8 units at the rate of 6.50. 52 rupees is the value of that issue. And what are the remaining units? Out of 25 units, you have given 8 units. That means you are left with 17 units. The value is 6.50, 110.50. Any doubts? Okay, sir. Next transaction. Receipts from B and Company, GRN number, goods received, receipt number, purchases 50 units at the rate of 5.75 per unit. Right. 5.75, 26 is the GRN number. This column is not mandatory. You can skip this column also. There is no need to worry about it. This requisition number, GRN number, you can skip it. Right. You want to write it, you can write it, but if you want to skip it for the confusion, because sometimes what happen is the student may multiply with this 26 or something, right? So you can skip in the examination. This is not a mandatory column. Okay. So number of units received is 50. Rate is 5.75. The total value is 287.50. Now, when you will write in the balance, you have two balances. One is, 17 units, the rate 6.50, right? This one is carry forward. Then you have received 50 more units and the rate is 5.75. So you have to write it this bifurcation, that 17 units, then 50 units, total is 398 rupees. Clear? This is how you have to show the balance. Now, next, issue requisition number 97, 12 units. Okay, the production department again goes to the store, please give me 12 units. Now we have to issue the 12 units. Now tell me, from which stock? Now you have two stock, one is 6.50, the other one is 5.75. Now you will issue from which stock? Sir, we are solving on the FIFO basis. That means first in, first out. This 17 was the opening balance. That means this is the first stock. Now we should be subtracting this stock first, right? So that means we'll issue from this 17 at the rate 6.50, 12 units at 6.50, 78 rupees. What is the remaining stock? 5 units of this inventory valuing 6.50 and 50 units of 5.75. Clear? So first in, first out. Had it been that we have been solving this question by last in, first out, then in that case, these 12 units would have been issued from this 50. Right? In that case, we would have issued 12 units from 50 instead of 17. Now we are solving it by FIFO method. That means first in, first out. Clear? So this way, what you have to do is now, next transaction is 7.9 is done. 10.9, return to B and Company, purchase return 10 units, right? The material that we received from B and Company here, we found that this material was not up to the mark, so we have returned some material. We have returned 10 units which were defective. Now, this is return 10 units. Now here the rate has to be the rate at which we have purchased it, 5.75, right? And what is the balance? Sir, these 5 units are intact. We have done nothing with these 5 units. These 5 units are intact, but out of these 50 units, we have returned 10 units. So we have 40 units left in the store, right? So you need to be very careful that out of which stock we are issuing or returning the material. We haven't touched these 5 units when we are returning these 10 units, right? These 10 units have been returned from 50 units. Here the first in, first out concept will not apply. First in, first out concept will apply only when you are issuing the raw material to the production department or production floor. Okay. If you are returning the material, you bought the material, you find out that the material is not up to the mark, the quality is not there, or the material is damaged, you want to return it, then the return will be at the rate at which you have purchased, right? Out of that stock only. In that case, first in, first out will not apply. Clear? Now, next entry, This is done. 12, issue requisition 15 units. Now 15 units, they have asked for the 15 units. Now what will happen? Sir, this material is to be issued first. This 5 material is to be issued first, right? So we'll issue 5 units which are valued at 6.50, and the remaining 10 units from this stock, the remaining 10 units from this stock of 5.75, right? So 90 rupees remaining is now, this stock is exhausted. This 5 units are gone now. Nothing is left from this. We have issued everything. Out of 40, we have issued 10. What is remaining is 30 of 5.75. Right? So this way, we have to continue. In the next, they require 20 units. We'll issue out of this 20 units, 5.75. Remaining is 10 units. Right? On 15th of... this is done. This is done. On 15th of September, receipts from M&D companies, 25 units at 6.10. 25 units we have received at 6.50. Earlier stock 10 units of 5.5. Now 25 units of 6.10. Done. Any doubts? Right. On 17th, issue requisition 10 units. Now what will happen, sir? 10 units. Which stock will you utilize first? Sir, the first in, first out. This stock will be utilized first because this stock was lying earlier than this 25 units. Clear? So the remaining is 25 units, 6.10, right? Next, this is done. Now received replacement from B and company 10 units. Now we have received the replacement from B and company. The material that we returned, that sir, this is not up to the mark. We are returning the material. They have sent us the fresh material. We have received the replacement 10 units, 5.75. So we have 25 units earlier lying than this, then 10 units of 5.75. Any doubts? Sir, you can't take this 10 units earlier than 25 units because we have received that stock now. Right? Because you can't say that, sir, we have received this stock earlier also, we sent it back and then we have received it. We are recording when we are receiving the stock. Right? So this 25 units were received earlier, these 10 units were received later on. That is why we will be recording it later on, we will be issuing it later on. Right, this is done. Now 20th, returned from department material of M&D company 5 units. Now there is some structural problem in this question, I can say. Sir, how there is a structural problem? Try to understand this. Sir, this M&D company material is received on 15th of September 2020, correct? Now tell me, after 15th of September, is there any material which has been issued from this 25? Any material which has been issued from 25 at 6.10? Sir, on 17th, material issued, but it was from the earlier 10 units of 5.75. Then on 99, material received, but there is no issue from this 6.10. Then if there is no issue, then how can you take a return from the department out of this stock? Can you? No, sir. So that is why what they have done is they have received 5 units from 5.75. That is the last issued material. That lastly the material was issued at 5.75. Whatever material was issued, it was at 5.75. That's why they have received at 5.75. Actually, it should be here from B and company. Then it makes sense. Right? But even in the institute material, it has been given as M&D company. Whereas the material which has been received from M&D company has not been issued. Clear? So that is why we are recording these 5 units at 5.75. That is the last issued material. So this is the only point in this question why I have discussed it, so that your institute material is also covered. Now 5 units from 5.75 because this material was received earlier than this 25 units. That's why we are using this first. Right? First in means the first that was received in your store. This material was received earlier than this 25 units. Right? That's why this material will be issued first. Then issue requisition is there in 26. Then remaining will be issued from 25 units and the remaining units will take. Right? On 30th of September, when they did the stock taking, there was a shortage of 2 units, right? So we'll consider this as a loss at the rate 6.10, 12.20 rupees is the loss. Remaining units are 18 units from this and 10 units from this. The rate is there 167.30. That means the closing inventory valuation is 167.30 and the closing inventory is 28 units. 28 units, right? And the value is this. Clear? So this is done by FIFO method. Now what you people have to do is, this is your homework now, you have to do it by the LIFO method, last in first out method, and you have to send your answer in the comment box. This is your homework now and you have to do it, sir. You have to send your answers in the comment box. Your friends will also answer and we'll try to cross tally which answer is correct and which is not. Right? Okay, sir. So this question is done. Question number 17. I hope it is clear, and you have to be very much clear with the pattern also, the format also in which you have to attempt. Right? If such a question comes in the examination, this is how you can make a format and this is how you have to attempt, right? So we are done with question number 17. Now coming on to question number 18, the last question of material costing, and with this we'll complete this chapter. Very good, sir. Question number 18. Okay. Following information relating to a particular material are available in the cost records of Bhalu Limited for the month of April 2016. Purchases are there, 3 purchases, 3rd April, 20th April and 30th April. Units 20,000, 15,000, 10,000. Rate per unit is 15, 16, 18. Freight charges is given, that is 15,000, 13,500 and 11,000. Opening inventory 8,000 units at the rate 15.50 including freight on 1st of April 2016. That means whatever the freight is, it is included in this price of 15.50. Closing inventory is 15,000 units on 30th of April. You are required to calculate value of closing stock, cost of raw material consumed by following LIFO, FIFO and the weighted average cost method of issuing, assuming that no issue can be made on the last day of the month. This is important, sir. That means we are not going to issue any raw material on 30th of April. Right? Sir, what is the importance of this line? I'll tell you when we'll start solving this question. Right? Sir, this looks a little bit different question. Yes, it is a bit different question, sir. First, tell me what is the raw material that has been consumed. Can you tell me the units of the raw material that has been consumed? Sir, what is the opening stock? Okay, I'll see. What is the opening stock? Opening stock is 8,000 units. Right? What are the purchases? 20,000 plus 15,000, 35,000 plus 10,000, 45,000. Any doubts? Right? 45,000 units. Right? And what is the closing stock there? What is the closing stock, sir? Closing stock is 15,000 units. So can you tell me the units consumption? What is the consumption, sir? How many units have been consumed? The units consumed is 38,000 units have been consumed. Now we have to find out that, sir, this consumption is out of these opening units or out of these purchases. Right? So we have to find out whether this 38,000 consumption is out of the purchases or out of the opening inventory, and this 15 units is left from which inventory, from opening or from purchases. This is what we have to find out now. Right? So the first step will be very careful. The first step is to calculate the rate per unit. Sir, it is given 15, 16, 18. Yes, it is given, but it is exclusive of freight. Can you read? The opening inventory is given 15.50 including freight. That means you will have to calculate these rates also including freight. you have to calculate the rates including the freight. Now come to question number 18. Question number 18. So first what we are going to calculate is, first we are going to calculate rate of purchases, rate of purchases of which date? Sir, 3rd of April. Sir, rate is given to us 15 rupees plus what is the freight? 15,000. What is the freight per unit? How many units have been received? 20,000. So I can calculate the freight per unit. Right? So 15 rupees per unit is the basic rate, plus we have to include the freight in that. This comes to rupees 15.75. Right? Then the rate of purchase for 20th April. 20th April. What is the rate given to you? 16 rupees plus how much? 13,500 freight charges. And what is the number of units? 15,000. So 13,500 divided by 15,000. This rate comes to 16.90. Then 30th April. What is the basic rate given? Basic rate given is 18 per unit and freight charges is 11,000 for the units of 10,000. 18 plus 11,000 divided by 10,000. So this rate comes to 19.10. So now we have calculated the rate of purchases inclusive of freight. Right? When we did the valuation of the raw material purchase, there I told you that freight charges are included in the rate of purchases. Yes, sir. Any expense from the time of ordering the raw material till the raw material is received in your store, right? All those expenses have to be included. Clear? You can check the format there. You can check the table that I have provided you. There you will find freight inwards, freight charges, freight inwards, you will find it there. Isn't it? So that means we have to include the freight charges. So we need to be careful. Now we have to find out the closing value of this 15,000 rupees, 15,000 units, on 30th of April using the various methods, that is the FIFO, LIFO and the weighted average method. First we will do it by FIFO method, sir. Okay, sir. So first we will do it by FIFO method. Right, sir. How many units have been issued? Sir, 38,000 units have been issued. Right. Now let's see the pattern in which these units will be issued. First, what is the first that we'll use in the FIFO method? First in, first out. That means the first thing that we are going to use is the opening inventory of 8,000 units. Isn't it? We'll be using the opening inventory of 8,000 units. Right, sir. Opening inventory 8,000 units. Right. What is left here now? What is left here is 30,000. Now how to utilize this 30,000? Let's see. Next, we'll issue from the purchases of 3rd of April, that is 20,000 units. Right. Then we'll issue from 3rd April purchases, that is 20,000 units. Now what is left, sir? What is left here? What is left is 10,000 now. Now this 10,000 will be issued from this 15,000 units of 20th April. Right, of 20th April, out of these 15,000 units, we will issue how much? We will issue how much? 10,000, sir. Right. So this will be issued from 20th April, 10,000 units. Right. What is left is nothing. We have issued everything, sir. So we have issued 8 plus 20 plus 10. That means now this inventory is exhausted. This 20,000 is exhausted. What is left out of this? 15,000. 5,000 is left from here and 10,000 from here. Total of 15,000. So now we are going to value this. How to write this? Value of closing stock under FIFO method. Value of closing stock. Value of closing stock under FIFO method. Right? So we'll say out of one second. Out of purchases of which date? 20th April. Out of purchases of 20th April. How many units? 5,000 units. 5,000 units. And what is the rate of these units? 20th April 16.90. Right? 16.90. This comes to 84,500. Right? Then out of purchases of 30th April, 10,000 units multiplied by how much? 19.10. 19.10. That means 1,91,000. Right? So the total value of closing stock is value of closing stock. Value of closing stock is how much? Sir, it is 2,75,500. Any doubts in this? Clear? This is clear that how we have issued 38,000. First out of opening inventory, then out of the purchases of 3rd of April, then 20th of April, because we are doing it by the FIFO method. Now, let's see by LIFO method. Right? Again, 38,000 units. Now, how are you going to issue these 38,000 units, sir? What is the last material that you have received? Sir, the last material that we have received is on 30th of April. That means we will issue, that means we can issue from this. Okay, I'll rub this so that I can do further calculations here. Right. So now the LIFO method says last in, first out. That means the material received in the last should be issued first. That means you can say, sir, we have received the last material on 30th of April, so we have to issue from this 10,000. Now this is where we are going to commit the mistake. Sir, why? Because we do not read the question carefully. Sir, the question says a very important line in the last. It says no issue can be made on the last day of the month. That means we cannot issue anything on 30th of April. That means the material which has been received on 30th of April cannot be issued. It is clearly given in the question, sir, that the material cannot be issued on the last day. Last day of April is obviously 30th of April. So material which has been received on 30th of April, how can you issue that material? When the question itself says you are not issuing anything on the last day. Right? So that means in that case, we will not issue anything out of this material. This material will there be as it is. Right? Now, out of the 20th April material, we will issue first 15,000. So we'll issue out of 20th April. How much? 15,000 units. So what is left, sir? What is left is 23,000 units. Now, the next you will utilize is 20,000 units from this 3rd of April. So we'll utilize now from 3rd of April, how many? 20,000 units. So what is left is, sir, what is left is just 3,000 units. And 3,000 units will be utilized from where? From the opening inventory. Because we are going in the reverse order now. Last in, first out. Now this will be utilized from the opening inventory. How many? 3,000 units. And what is the balance left? Nothing, sir. Now, just tell me one thing. This 10th, what is left in the stock? This is exhausted. This is exhausted, right? 0, 0. What is left is 30th April 10,000 and 5,000 units from opening inventory. So, valuation of closing stock under valuation of closing stock under LIFO method. Right, now what is left with you under LIFO method? Sir, one is out of purchases of 30th of April. 30th of April. How many units? 10,000 units multiplied by 19.10, right? 1,91,000, right? Then what is left is opening stock, opening inventory. How many units are left from the opening inventory? Sir, 5,000 units multiplied by 15.50. The rate is given to you people, that is 77,500. What is the value of closing stock? Total value of the closing stock is 2,68,500. Any doubts in this? Right? So guys, always remember one thing. What is important is to read the question carefully. This is very important, sir. You should read the question very carefully, that what the question is asking us to do. Right? Each and every line till the end. What we do is we read the half of question. Yes, this question we have done it. We will do it confidently. Whereas the main crux of the question lies in the last part, in the last line itself. Right? Okay, so we are done with the FIFO method, we are done with the LIFO method, and now we have to do the weighted average cost method. Now, the third one. Okay. Value of closing inventory. Value of closing inventory under weighted average method. Weighted average method. Now just try to understand one thing, sir, in this case. Very important again. This 30th April inventory will anyhow be there at the full value because the full inventory is done. Full inventory is there. Right? This 10,000 stock is as such lying there. Okay, so that means there is no need to do weighted average of this inventory. Why, sir? Because this inventory is lying as such at the same rate. Right, so the first thing that we will be writing is out of purchases. 10,000 units is from this only, out of purchases of 30th April. Right, we know that what is the value of this inventory? 10,000 units multiplied by 19.10, right? 19.10, yes, it is 1,91,000. Now the remaining 5,000 units, the closing inventory is 15,000. Out of this, 10,000 is from 30th April. The remaining 5,000, we do not know whether those 5,000 units are from this, or from opening inventory. We do not know this, sir. For this, we have to do the weighted average. Right? Remaining 5,000 units. Remaining 5,000 units. Now, how to calculate the weighted average of this? I told you the number of units lying in the stock multiplied by the rate. So, what is the opening inventory, sir? Opening inventory is 8,000 units multiplied by 15.50, right? Plus, what is the purchases on 3rd of April? 20,000 units multiplied by 15.75 plus, sir, 15,000 units multiplied by 16.90, right? Divided by the total units, 8,000 plus 20,000 plus 15,000. Clear? So this is how you have to do the weighted average. From here, what you will get is the rate. basically, right? So what you are going to do is 5000 multiply the rate from here that you are going to get, that is 16.105. So the value of these remaining 5000 units is going to be, sir, 80,525. So the total value of closing inventory will be how much? 2,71,525. So this is an important question, sir. A different question, I can say, right? Which will make you understand the small things, that how we have to tackle it. Clear? Any doubts? Okay, so we are done with this thing. It was asking for us the value of closing stock. We are done. Now it is asking the cost of raw material consumed. He says, tell me the cost of raw material consumed also. How we are going to calculate the cost of raw material consumed, sir? Opening plus purchases minus closing stock. And we know the value of closing stock now. Let's see. Calculation of cost of raw material consumed. Cost of raw material consumed. Now it is again to be calculated under all the three methods, right? Because the value of closing stock is different under the method, so your value will be different, right? So we have to calculate under FIFO method, LIFO method, and weighted average method, right? So first what we are going to take is opening stock. Opening inventory is given to us, sir, 8,000 units at the rate of 15.50. It will be same under all the methods, right? 1,24,000, 1,24,000 and 1,24,000. Do check the calculations once, okay? Then purchases 3rd of April. 3rd of April is 20,000 units multiplied by 15.75. Be careful the rate that you have to take, sir. Be careful with the rate that you have to take. You have to take these rates, that is inclusive of freight charges, okay? This will again be same for all the methods. No change, sir. 3,15,000, 3,15,000 and 3,15,000. Then 20th April. How many units? 15,000 units multiplied by 16.90. This will again be same for all. 2,53,500, 2,53,500 and 2,53,500. Then we have 30th April. 30th April, how many units? 10,000 units multiplied by 19.10. Right, this comes to 1,91,000. Same under all the methods. 1,91,000. Right, now we have to subtract from here what the closing stock, and closing stock we have just calculated in the first part, right? This is the closing stock: 2,68,500, 271,525 and 275,500 under all the different methods, right? So we have 2,75,500 under FIFO method, 2,68,500 under LIFO method and 2,71,500 and 2,500 weighted average. So the remaining figure, the balance figure, what you will get is the value of raw material consumed, RM consumed, right? So this comes to 6,08,000, 6,15,000 and 6,11,975. Any doubts? Any doubts? Right? So this is a very good question for 10 marks, sir. Such type of questions can be asked in the examination for how much? For 10 marks these questions can be asked. Right? So we are done with the question number 18, and with this we complete a chapter of material costing. Wow, sir, great. Now what you people have to do is, we are done with this chapter. You have to do the complete revision of this chapter along with the theory that I have given in the handbooks. right? First thing, first homework for you. Second, you have to do the complete questions of ICAI study material, which are you can also join the course on this, which is available on my mobile app, right? Search for the KSJ Teaching mobile app on the Google Play Store. You will find the app, and there is a course where I have discussed each and every question of ICAI study material in detail. We have done the discussion. You won't find any problems in the ICAI material question after that, right? That is my guarantee to you people. You will enjoy that course, right? So that course is there. Then you have to practice the question from the handbooks. All those who are having the handbooks, all those who are not having, they can do it from any material which they have, right? So after this, practice questions from there. Then you have to, okay, just this much. RTP, MTP later on after completion of the whole course, right? Not at this point. So at this point, what you have to do is revise the complete complete chapter along with the theory. Then ICAI study material question, then the handbooks question. These three things you have to complete now, right? We are done with this chapter of material costing, and in the next lecture, we'll be starting with the new chapter. We'll be starting with our chapter number 3. That is another very important chapter, that is labor costing or employee cost as it is said, right? Another very interesting chapter, very important chapter, right? We'll be starting with it in the next lecture, right? So see you guys in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.